Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at a set of USB powered speakers which promise not to break the bank and potentially not break your eardrums either. This is the Elegiant 2.1 speaker system SR800. Keep watching to hear more. Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at these. These are the Elegiant SR800 speakers, desktop speakers 2.1. So you've got a central subwoofer and you've got a pair of satellite speakers. This setup works with Bluetooth, 3.5mm jacks, and you can plug in other things like TF cards and also USB sticks, such as this. So you can load up one of these with your favourite tunes and stick it in there and just let it play for God knows how long. So if you're having a Christmas party or something, then maybe this may be of interest to you, although I would imagine it'd be a rather small party because they're not that big, but anyway, I digress. So let's take a look at them, take a look at the packaging, we'll do an unboxing, go through, do some sound tests, and then at the end you can let me know what you think of them. So starting off with the packaging, as you can see, mini powerful 2.1 channel PC speaker with subwoofer. Enjoy your favourite music, and potentially enjoy some music that isn't your favourite as well also. These are the SR800s. These actually were sent to us by Ugly Bob, so thank you very much, Ugly Bob. He actually sent these to us ages ago, and we did unbox them on one of the live streams, but I never got around to actually doing a full video on it. So I figured now is the time we should do it. It's coming up to Christmas and people are looking for stocking fillers, that kind of thing. And essentially this might be just the trick. These are relatively inexpensive, although if you go to the Elegiant website, which I probably won't link in the video description below, these retail for something in the region of about £40, which I think is kind of borderline ridiculous. If you go to somewhere like Banggood.com, then you can pick them up for somewhere in the region of about £15. So that to me seems like a much more fair price for them and puts them actually in a really competitive space in the market. There's lots of other USB speakers on the market. You've got things like the Creative Pebble 2.1s, those kind of things. So this actually offers you a little bit more as well because you've got Bluetooth functionality and those options with the USB sticks, etc. So yeah, these could be pretty decent. On the back of the box it goes into some of the features, and obviously it talks about the wireless connection, so that is referring to the Bluetooth connectivity. Also 10 watts power maximum. Got treble and bass, which are independently adjustable on separate dials, which is always nice. 3.5mm wired connection, so this is going to fit with things like your mobile phones, PCs, basically anything with a headphone style jack is going to be absolutely fine. 2.1 channel quality sound and a 5V port plug and play. So yeah, sounds pretty good. On the side, a little bit more of the specification there, so yeah, pretty much more of the same. RMS power, looking at 8 watts, so that's 2 times 4. And yeah, peak music output power is somewhere like 10 to 15 watts. So let's take it out of the box and see what they're actually like. Now obviously I have taken these out of the box before because we did take a brief look at them in our live stream. I will go through it for those of you that are potentially looking at buying these for yourselves. So included in the box there is the usual things, so if you're happy or sad, there's options there for either writing a review should you find them very good and you want to spread the word across people. On the other hand, if you get problems, there's a QR code so you can scan that to get in touch with them. They also do have a Facebook page as well, which may be beneficial to those on Facebook. There is also a rather nice instruction guide and tells you how it all goes together, what all the buttons do, etc, etc. And yet again, more QR codes for you to scan. Looking in the actual packaging itself, so let's start off first of all with the largest part of this. So this is the main speaker and kind of like the control box. So from this you can get an idea of what this is like. It reminds me somewhat of like an old school CB radio for some reason. I don't know why. It just does remind me of that. I guess it's the kind of layout, and you'd possibly have like an LED there telling you the channel that you're actually on. Yeah, showing my age a little bit there. But anyway, so this is a nice little compact unit. Should fit pretty much under most monitors. So if you've got a monitor on a stand, then this could be kind of aimed directly at you. This actually contains the subwoofer element of it. So basically what you've got is a small subwoofer speaker and also like a passive radiator type speaker. So there's like a push-pull scenario thing going on in there. The case itself is injection molded plastic and the grille on the front is just a alloy type grille. You've got the Elegiant logo on the front there and you've got the 3 control buttons down this side. So you've got your main volume control, rotary control, you've got your tone and bass controls. Next to that, there are some extra features. So if you're using potentially the USB sticks, that sort of stuff, the top one is pretty much general, so that's your on off, but also doubles up as play and pause. The next one down is your M button, so that is your mode button, so you can switch between either the 3.5mm jack, the Bluetooth, or playing from the USB sticks in the back. So you just press that and it loops through the various options. Underneath that, you've got options for fast forward and rewind, or rather skip track or next track, previous track, that kind of thing. If you press and hold them, they do not skip through tracks, unfortunately, which is something I found out a little bit earlier. But yeah, so basically next track, previous track, that kind of deal. On the bottom of the unit, so you've got two rubberized pads there to keep it stable on your desk and also to absorb some of those vibrations from the monstrous subwoofer, which is enclosed within. And on the back, we've got our connectivity. So we've got the wire itself. Now this particular wire is 1.5 meters in length and terminates into a USB and also a 3.5mm jack. And the USB cable is purely for powering the device. It doesn't perform any kind of USB audio functions. This is purely for power and power only. The 3.5mm jack is the means of taking an input. So again, you can plug that into a Walkman, a CD player, your PC, whatever it may be. The cable itself is actually split or splittable into two. So because it is 1.5 meters in length from the base to those sockets, if you wanted to separate those, so say for instance your PC is possibly either maybe one side of your desk and the USB power is going to be on the other, which is something I wish to talk about actually. The USB power, you can, if you want to, you can power it from your desktop PC from one of the rear ports. I wouldn't probably use the front ones because they generally don't take enough power from the motherboard. What I would certainly suggest is getting a hold of one of these. So this is a 5 volt, 2 amp kind of USB charger brick. Make sure it's about 2 amps, that way you'll get the best possible sound out of it. That is what the manufacturer recommends also. So literally, yeah, you can just use one of those, plug it in, plug that into a main socket, and then you're going to have a constant source of power rather than having to rely on your PC. So again, if you're using this as a combination device for maybe Bluetooth and also USB sticks in the back, then even if you turn off your computer, you're still going to get power via the USB plug. Anyway, back to the cable. So yeah, if you want to, you can split that cable all the way down right to the very end. So effectively you get roughly 3 meters of length if the speaker is dead center. Otherwise, obviously 1.5 meters from the box to the cables. So next up, we've got the speakers themselves. So you've got two speakers and they are marked up left and right, so you know which one goes where. Happy days. And also got the Elegiant logos on there again. Same sort of deal, injection molded plastic. You've got 4 rubber feet on the bottom to keep it stable, and you've got that alloy grille on the front there. Relatively lightweight speakers. They are slightly unusual in the way that they actually connect to the device itself. So we're looking actually at a USB type connection. So rather than being a traditional kind of speaker plug, that kind of thing, you are looking at a USB connection. Pretty much the same deal here as well with the cable. So the USB end to the actual speaker is approximately 1 meter. If you want a little bit more length, then obviously you can split the cable. As it comes out of the box, it's only split maybe enough to go either side of the actual subwoofer itself, but you can, if you want to, go all the way down the cable and just pull that apart, and then that will give you the extra ability to give you some extra stereo separation. Okay, so that's the speakers all done and dusted. I think the best thing to do now is to plug them in and give them a fair crack at the whip. Okay, so we've got it all plugged in, and as you can possibly see, or maybe not, there is a LED on there, little light just to say that it's actually active. So I'm going to go ahead now, I'm going to plug in my USB stick into the back of the device. You could, if you wanted to, for ease of access, if this is in a slightly... That's the play pause button. If it's in a slightly awkward place to get to, you could, if you want to, run a very small USB-A to USB female actual extension, maybe to your desk so you can plug it in a little bit easier. That's being a little bit fussy, but certainly if you wanted to, you could do. So let's turn the volume down to start off with, and let's go back into showing you the mode. So at the moment in the mode button, it's currently on the USB stick because that's what we've just plugged in. Press the button again, and now it's going to go into Bluetooth mode. So as you can see now, the button is flashing between red and blue, meaning it's ready to be paired. So on your Bluetooth phone or your PC or whatever, just go into the Bluetooth pairing options and look for the SR800. It will appear in the menu, and then just connect it, and yeah, that is essentially it. If you press the button again, it will then go into the 3.5mm jack mode, and if we press the button again, it will start playing from the USB device. So pretty straightforward, and actually it's, even though this is on a very low volume, it actually does sound quite nice. It's a very kind of rounded sound. It's not overly bassy, it's not anything like Beats like by Dre, anything like that, but yeah, certainly nice and clear, and you can hear all the instruments, and even off axis, yeah, it still sounds pretty decent. So I'm going to angle these slightly towards me. I have actually done some other audio recordings of this a little bit earlier on today, so depending on what it's like when I actually go to review the footage of this, if the footage from my camera earlier gives you a better impression of the sound, then we'll go over to that. But otherwise, let's go through and check out some tracks and see what it sounds like. Now currently we're on the volume setting of, I would say that is getting on towards about a quarter or a third. About halfway. Full blast. So I think we'll go back to about a third. I think that's probably what most people would listen to on a daily basis. So we'll skip through a couple of tracks. So there is quite a decent bass cut-off. Yeah, it's quite a nice sound quality actually. I think that's enough of that. You get a general idea of what they sound like. Yeah, I'm actually quite impressed for the relatively low amount of money these cost. £15 or so. I'm not entirely sure what Bob paid for them because it was quite a while back, unfortunately. But yeah, if they are still that sort of price from Banggood, maybe around £15–16, if they're less than 20, I think these are totally well worth it. And with the flexibility of obviously 3.5mm USB sticks or through the Bluetooth, I think it's hard to go wrong on these, I really do. But let me know what you think about them in the comments section below. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.